You know, I've been doing these question and answer videos. I think I've done 16 or 17 of them now. And there's one question that comes up a lot, and I thought I would dedicate an entire video to it because it gets asked so often. And that is the question of trying to get bears to come in the daylight by cutting back on bait or trying to create some kind of competition between the bears. The bears are coming in at night. The bears you want to shoot are coming in after dark. How can you get them to come in during the day by, you know, should you cut back on bait so they have to come in earlier or they won't get anything? And I've addressed this before, but I want to go into a little more detail here. And I think this question kind of flared up this fall when I was bear hunting, and I said this. And I got a bear here that's pretty much a slam dunk. I shouldn't say that because sure as the world he won't come tonight, but I've got one bear that's coming in the daylight. It's a real nice one. Then I got several that are coming at night here. So I've cut back the bait, which I know I normally don't do, but I'm experimenting here in trying to just reward the bear that is coming in the daylight. It's not like I'm trying to create competition or anything, but I'm trying to just reward the bear that is coming in the daylight so he keeps getting fed, but not feeding the ones that are coming at night. So that seems like a contradiction, but let me try to explain why it's not. First of all, let's go back to the reasons why I think it's not ever a good idea to cut back on bait to try to create competition. First of all, I don't think it's ever a good thing if a bear comes to your bait and doesn't get something good to eat. Bears always have other options. They have other baits they can visit. They know where they are. They travel miles and miles and miles all the time. They know where the natural foods are. If they come to your bait and don't get something good to eat, you're likely to lose them altogether, and we don't want that to happen. And by cutting back on bait, you run the risk that the actual bear that you want to shoot is going to come to the bait and not get something good to eat, so he's just going to leave. It goes back to what I've talked about before about trying to manipulate bears, and you can't really manipulate bears. You got to be careful that you don't put yourself in a situation where you're trying to force the bear to do something they don't want to do. It's just never a good thing. And like I hear people say that bears won't come in the daylight, so they're just going to take the bait out with them when they leave. Well, why is the bear going to come back at all if there's no bait there? You don't even have a bait anymore. All you got is a spot with a tree stand. So there always should be some bait there whenever the bears come. So the strategy of actually cutting back on the amount of bait to try to create a competition, I don't think the bears actually even have the capacity to figure out, oh, I got to come in early to make sure I get some before it's gone. I just don't think that even registers with a bear. I think that's a logical conclusion, and the bears don't. They react to their environment. They can't think logically. So I just don't believe that's ever an effective way to try to get a nocturnal bear to come in early. What I was doing in this situation this fall was there was bears coming in during the daylight that were shooter bears, and then there was bears coming in the dark that I didn't think I'd probably ever have a chance to shoot because they're completely nocturnal. So what I was trying to do was just feed the bears that are coming in the daylight and not feed the ones that I'm really not going to have a chance to shoot anyway. So I was cutting back on bait to just feed the bears that are coming in the daylight. So which is a completely different concept than trying to get a bear that you want to shoot to come in earlier. I was trying to keep the bears that I want to shoot that are coming in during the daylight, and as you saw, it actually ended up working out and I got the bear that I wanted. So I understand why this is a little bit of a confusing concept, but I hope this helps clear it up, and I want to thank you for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.